What's up, gang? It's your boy Fridayrandommedia, and I'm back with another video. And today is going to be the first of many. It's going to be the first official podcast with my little brother Trevor. Say what's up, man.
What's up? I'm eating a potato right now, sorry.
So we're going to dive into this podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about some training stuff, a little bit about some combat sports, and maybe a little bit about some comics, anime, fiction shit. So tune in. So to start off the podcast, we just got back from a training session, hit a nice leg day consisting of some squats, some hamstring curls, a little bit of upper body work. What did you think, man? What was your kind of goal today going into our leg day?
Mainly I was just going to hit those high weight with mostly focusing on technique still, because I feel like I'm finally getting it down and I'm figuring out what my problems are, because in my personal training course I was learning about like the overhead squat assessment and different things to look at, and I figured out like I've got an anterior pelvic tilt.
Yeah, which is actually
I'm feeling that in my lower back.
Hella common for a lot of people nowadays, the anterior pelvic tilt from sitting in chairs and sitting on the couch and driving and office chairs. Something I've done to help kind of like fix that is, especially because I have longer upper legs, is elevating my heels. I've noticed that kind of helps the anterior tilt.
Is that why you do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And it just works your quads more. So that's how I've been squatting lately, is I've been putting a plate on the ground, elevating my heels on the plate, squatting that way.
I'll have to do that next time, because I've been squatting without shoes, and like doing that with the plate doesn't feel right if I don't got no shoes on. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I was just leaning forward and stuff. My main goal was to not be doing any of that shit, but I ended up doing it because I obviously got
pushing
some
the weight.
weaknesses. But yeah, we got the weight up.
Yeah, I was shooting for basically, instead of more of hypertrophy style training with the squats, we're doing Smith machine squats, by the way. So I was focusing more on low reps and just nailing that technique on some higher weight, you know?
Yeah.
So not really pushing to failure, but probably got 3 or 4 reps left in me, just trying to build up to a higher base strength, or, you know, bottom line strength where I'm at, basically. I actually pushed some weight I never pushed today, so
Fire.
Making progress.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, on those, when we moved on from the squats and started doing the cluster sets, like, I definitely started too high. I mean, I was cramping, so there was that, but...
Yeah, and the cluster set, try to explain the cluster set.
The cluster set, man, fucking 5 solids, just perfect technique reps at a decent manageable weight. Just perfect, pristine technique. Then you take 5-second rest, do another 5 reps just the same way. And you just continue to do that until you can no longer do it, or failure. Take a break, and then come back to it, but this time up the time, maybe do 10-second rest, still 5 reps each, same weight.
And there's a lot of different ways you can do it too. Like today I kind of changed the way I did the cluster buster. So as I was saying, cluster buster on the hamstring curls, right? Instead of going 5 reps, 5-second rest, I went 6 reps with a 10-second rest with the same weight, you know? So one more rep, a little bit longer length of a rest. And that's another thing that's good about the cluster sets is, like, if you're somebody who likes to have short rests, you can do those reps and then have the 10-second rest, go back in, 10-second rest. But it's important that if you do another set like that, like a whole nother cluster set, that you take a good like 5 to 6 minute break in between, because your body is seriously going to be pushing itself to the freaking wazoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Liquid. Need to get some water in between them, but...
Get some electrolytes.
Like, the best part about it is, like, you know, by the time you already get to the 3rd round of fucking 5 reps, by the time you get to rep number 5, you're already about like a few reps from failure, and then you're just stopping, and then you're going right back to it. Like, it's almost like you're tricking your body into thinking it's getting that rest, and
Right.
you're just going right back into it.
Exactly.
Like, that's the killer part about it all.
If I was to rate today's leg day, I'd probably give it like an 8.4.
So specific on the 0.4.
Bro, we got some good squats in, got some good weight in, solid amount of sets, did some good hamstring curl. Dude, the leg pump was kind of crazy, dude. After the cluster buster, the hamstrings are popping out the freaking back like a balloon on Shaq, bro. I don't know what that means, but it rhymes. Just straight up, like, if you do a cluster set, do it on, like, more of an isolation movement rather than a compound movement. Like, don't do it on squats. Do it on something like the hamstring curl or like a tricep push down, you know, because the pump is going to be obnoxious.
Yeah, you hit 3 sets of the cluster busters on the hamstrings. I hit 2 and 1 on the quads. And after that, dude, I was falling over. I got out of the stood up and almost fell over.
At a certain point,
Fuck.
it's a death sentence. But what do you rate today's leg day?
Dude, honestly, probably like a 7.5, 8. Between there.
Valid?
Very valid. Alright, so jumping into the next topic. This one I've been anticipating all day long. We're going to talk about, so basically like a tournament almost, like, what would you say, a tournament of BMF title, like an
8-man BMF UFC tournament for the BMF belt. Because after the hype of the Max Holloway Gagey BMF championship, bro, we got to dive in.
Oh, we have to.
We got to dive in. All my fighters are from the UFC roster. Are yours?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, other than, like, Mighty Mouse and, Mighty Mouse, and it hasn't gone in, like, when's the last time he's actually fought MMA? He's done some boxing, but...
Well, I think like 2 years ago he fought Gon, Surreal Gon. For our first BMF matchup, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first with this one. So, my first one, so I'm going to go with Volk and Dustin. Dustin and Volk. That would be crazy. I put them against each other because I think Dustin and Volk, like, that would be the best way to go about, like, with their wrestling. They both wrestled pretty good with the Dagestani dudes, especially Volk when it comes to, like, the way he handled Islam and the grappling in the first fight.
Right.
I mean, the recent fight with Islam and Dustin went poorly for Dustin in most aspects, but...
Well, it's interesting because Volkanovski actually had, like, an aggressive edge to his wrestling against Islam. Dustin was almost all strictly defense wrestling, right? So it kind of makes you wonder how successful Volkanovski's wrestling would be against someone like Poirier.
That's very true.
In the striking department, I got Dustin all day.
Yeah, I believe so.
He's
absolutely,
too sharp.
100%.
Yeah.
But Volkanovski is such a beast, and he's just, like, up in your fucking face the whole time. Like, he's honestly one of the scariest dudes to fight, really. He's one of the most solid fighters around. One of the other reasons I pit them up against each other is, like, partially my other choices, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, okay. So I'll go ahead and say my Poirier matchup, because I have Poirier on my BMF list. I would go Poirier Gagey 3 for the trilogy BMF, because Poirier finished Gagey. Gagey just knocked out Poirier. But, dude, like, I legitimately feel like if they fought 10 times, they would both win 5 times each. Like, that's how crazy that matchup is. Like, I feel like Poirier's got more of the skill, more of the technical aspect, more technique. He's more dialed in. But Gagey is a fucking warrior. Like, Gagey is also kind of a wild card, like a madman, you know. He still has that power. He has those kicks. Like, doesn't matter how much technique you got. Like, if he lands a good freaking shot on you, man, like, it's lights out. Or at least you're damaged bad, you know. So, kind of a self-explanatory pick, but Poirier Gagey 3 for sure. So now on to our second BMF matchup. Who do you got? Who do you got, fam?
So I got Max Holloway And I had to go with Gagey, the rematch. I mean, dude, the fight was just so good. And, like, I wonder how the fight goes if at the last second of the first round, Gagey's nose doesn't get totally fucked into his head.
Right.
Like...
Well, Max planned that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
he trained it.
How can you... It was a perfectly executed kick. I mean, you watch the fight back, he was setting that shit up.
I'd say the bigger fluke would be both eye pokes, but...
yeah.
But in defense of Max, Gagey, it obviously didn't affect him bad enough because Gagey would have taken a break.
Right.
Like, when you're fighting Max, you know that it doesn't matter how long of a break you get. His gas tank isn't going away, so... I think if it was affecting him bad enough, he would have gotten his rest back.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Unless he really was worried about Max Holloway getting more energy, but dude, like, it's gonna happen anyways. He throws record-breaking numbers every time.
Gagey knocked him down. They didn't count it statistically, like a bunch of fucking goobs, but...
Yeah, Gagey was the first to knock down Max Holloway.
We all saw it.
Okay, I'll go with my Holloway pick. Holloway, I'm talking like all fighters in their prime too.
All fighters in
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Like, that's how I imagine it, right?
Okay, dude.
So, I got Holloway versus Nate Diaz at 155. I feel like that would be an absolute banger because Max Holloway's super quick, super technical. He's really good at moving around. But Nate Diaz's boxing is A1. He's bigger. His clinch work is A1 compared to someone like Max. And Max does not have a good reach compared to Nate Diaz at all. So I feel like this would be a crazy, like, Max Holloway attacking the legs, Nate Diaz landing a bunch of 1 and 2s, you know, clinching up. I see that being a super competitive fight.
Oh, dude, see, now that I'm, like, knowing all fighters in their prime, like, I can't leave Tony out of that.
Right.
Like, I was thinking of now, so I left him out, but, like, I would probably have to go Max versus Tony and take back the Gagey fight.
Yeah, Max versus Tony would be insane.
Max and Tony would be the way to go for sure in their primes.
We both have 2 matchups out of the way now. So we got 2 more.
Who else, bro, but Alex Pereira, fucking John Jones, bro. I'm sorry, but we all know, like, you know, most people do want to see both of them have another fight or two before they would face each other, of course. But we're all hoping to see them win and go face each other. I know a lot of people hope John Jones will fall because a lot of people have a hate for him. Like,
I don't like John
Jones. Most
Jones.
controversial fighter probably of all time, honestly.
Dude, if I was to put Pierre against anyone in heavyweight right now, like pre-John Jones, definitely would be, if not Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, because he's primarily a wrestler. It'd be interesting to see how Alex would deal with a heavyweight wrestler. At least, that's my opinion. Alex Jones, Pierre, who do you got winning that? Or John Jones? Alex Pierre, John Jones. Holy shit.
Dude, I mean, obviously Alex Pereira's striking is definitely going to be superior. I'm pretty sure John Jones has the reach. They're both 6'4", though. Just insane feats about each other. I mean, John Jones is probably the more violent. Definitely, because when it comes to, like, the elbows and stuff. Not saying Alex Pereira doesn't utilize his weapons of knees and such, because he definitely does, but
John Jones likes using the dirtier tactics.
Right,
like knee stomps.
Exactly. So you've got that size, and I mean, Pereira defended the wrestling of
Blachowicz. Yeah,
but it's definitely not on the same level of wrestling as John Jones, of course.
Here's the thing: John Jones has proven to be, I wouldn't say easy to hit, but he's hittable. You know.
Yeah.
Dominic Reyes was slapping him up a lot with combinations, landing like 3 or 4 piece combos.
Right, and I mean, Alex Pereira throws those leg kicks you can't even see taking off.
That would be interesting too, like the battle of the leg kicks. The knee stomp versus the fucking calf kick.
The knee stomp versus the crazy calf kicks. And, you know, that deadly, dangerous power we obviously just saw demonstrated to Yuri's face.
Oh, yeah.
But, bro, Izzy survived the left hand before. Like,
that was also a weakened Pierre at middleweight.
that's true.
If we're being real.
right, because Pereira was cutting like 40 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane in itself, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I got Jones winning it via grapple or submission.
Yeah, I could see it. It's just so close, dude. See, because I mean, Alex Pereira's obviously going to be ready for Jones to be going after him with the grappling, because that's been the main talk of John Jones moving up to heavyweight, and nobody can grapple with him.
Yeah. There's not a lot of grapplers at heavyweight. There's not a lot of grapplers there who are like on that high caliber.
Yeah. He only has one fight that's gone to decision, and it's that Blachowicz fight. Right?
Wait, who?
Blachowicz?
Alex?
Pereira.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not John.
No.
John's had more.
Jones had a few decisions. Controversial ones. But, okay. I'll get to my third fight.
Yeah.
This one's kind of basic, but Chandler versus Conor. I just feel like Mike Chandler versus Conor is such a cool matchup. They're both super explosive. They both got a lot of power in their hands. They both are very strategic with the leg kicks. Conor's anti-wrestling. He has great anti-wrestling, while Chandler has like his top-tier wrestling from Missouri or whatever, you know. Mizzou! Whatever. I do feel like Chandler has a chance to kick the legs off Conor if he's not careful. Because Conor going there thinking, oh, I'm going to knock this dude out, and like not really give enough respect to the leg kick, which is his problem with Poirier. You know? He thinks that Chandler is just like another stocky wrestler when Chandler packs more power than almost anybody in the division, you know?
Yeah, he's so explosive, dude. Because he looks so big.
Chandler?
Yeah, he is. He's huge.
He's fucking dense, bro.
Like,
he's dense, dude.
But yeah, with the leg kicks, those karate kicks from Conor, and you know, we're talking prime fighters.
Right.
Like, you look at Conor's focus, his precision, and his speed, his technique, his fluidity. It's all top notch.
That is true. Real. Prime Conor, yeah. I personally got Conor winning.
I do too.
I feel like Conor's grappling is probably on par with Chandler, to be real. Like, if we're talking, like, maybe his wrestling isn't as good, but his grappling in general would be able to maybe even be better than Chandler's. So I got Conor. Who do you got?
Conor, for sure.
Yeah.
I do as well.
We're on to our last BMF matchup. Who do you got, bro?
See, when we talk about the prime fighters, I was originally going to say Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker.
Okay. That's an interesting matchup. Would you consider Sean Strickland to be in that BMF?
I think so. Just with, like,
his personality.
I mean, bro, he's fought Izzy, he's fought Alex Pereira.
It's true. It's true.
Insane. He fought Paulo Costa.
Here's my problem with Strickland. Not even his personality. He is a decision merchant, bro. He is out here sucking down decisions like it's nobody's business.
That is true.
And he claims to be a killer, bro. Of course, he would murder me and smear me across cement, but how are you going to say you're going to war and then just keep walking forward with crane kicks? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to put him in BMF tier yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got to get some knockouts.
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker has been in some fucking wars. Legit wars. Like Yoel Romero twice wars. Winning that fight twice. Who the fuck beats Yoel Romero in a decision twice? In a war.
You had a decision in 2 different fights with Yoel Romero? Holy fuck.
And it was a war. Have you ever seen those fights?
No.
Those are 2 of the craziest fights. Robert Whittaker was in danger both fights several times. Like, almost finished. But he somehow made it out, bro.
Maybe the proper matchup. When we're talking prime, I mean, the moment that came into play, I was thinking, like, the Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor trilogy finally happening. The trilogy.
If they just ran it back one more time after that fight, man, that would have been nuts. But we wouldn't have got double champ Conor. We wouldn't have got Floyd Mayweather Conor.
Oh, dude.
That's nuts. Okay, so for my final BMF matchup, I got kind of a wild card. I got a 170 fight with Mike Perry and Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, man.
I just feel like that would be a fucking banger. Because they are both just killers, man. Like, Jorge, like, of course, he got knocked out by Usman and stuff, but Mike Perry hasn't fought anyone of that caliber yet. You know? At least in the cage. Like, he fought Cerrone. He did get finished by Cerrone. Jorge did finish Cerrone. But styles make fights. Mike Perry and Jorge is a slugfest, dude. And Mike Perry's got enough power to knock anyone out. I'd say, like, Jorge's probably best chance is to stay evasive on the outside, body kick, leg kick. Whenever they engage, throw short punches and escape. But like Mike Perry bulldozes forward with hooks and elbows and knees. And there was a fight where he got his nose literally broken in half on his face, and he finished the fight.
Oh my god!
Literally plastered like.
I think I've seen the highlight.
It's insanity. I'll put the picture in the video if you're listening to the podcast. His nose was plastered across the side of his face, and he continued the rest of the fight. You have to be insane. And he lost via decision. And the fact that he didn't just call it, like, that's just nuts to me. That's BMF shit right there, man.
Mm-hmm. For real.
So who for you is the ultimate BMF?
The ultimate BMF, bro.
Just out of everyone. Everyone, I think Max Holloway is the BMF.
Dude, I'd have to say probably between Holloway, Tony Ferguson. Like that 12-fight win streak where he's just making people look like fucking Halloween decorations.
Straight up, look like a horror movie store, bro.
Dude, he was straight mangling everybody's face with his elbows.
Ferguson was truly the boogeyman.
The boogeyman.
Like, there was a time period where Ferguson was truly, like, the boogeyman. It's crazy how times change.
Sucks how everything, turned around. But
he gave us a lot of really good fights to watch, though.
Dude, Tony Ferguson against Anthony Pettis is my favorite fight of all time.
That was a fun one. That was a fun one. I remember watching that one live on the TV. That was Conor versus Habib. Well, shit, dude. You got Max or Tony Ferguson. I got Max Holloway as the BMF. I think this has been a fun segment. That was some good matchups. All right, for our third segment of the podcast, our final segment, we're going to talk about where we think the direction of the MCU is going, and maybe even superhero movies in general, in relation to the Deadpool movie coming out, because, we're also a duo fan. We on that Deadpool Wolverine energy. So,
yeah. If
we're talking about where the MCU is going, in the Deadpool trailer, we obviously see that the TVA is there from Loki. So, like, these multiverse time traveler type fucking goons. I think they're going to send Deadpool on a mission with something hanging over his head to get him to be more, like, aggressive. Like, almost like the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe storyline. So I think the TVA is going to hold something over Deadpool's head to get him to do something brutal. And along his way, there's going to be a bigger villain that him and Wolverine are going to have to beat up, In relation to that, I think Deadpool is probably going to wipe out a bunch of the old superhero universes, like the Fox X-Men universe and the Fox Fantastic Four universes, and basically going across and wiping out multi-universe. I mean, that's just a theory. A game theory. What about you, man? That was a spiel.
See,
call me Spielberg.
Going into this whole Deadpool movie, obviously, it's MCU. It's been confirmed. And with that being said, what the fuck's going on now?
What the fuck, dude? Jiminy Christmas.
Anyway.
There's a war going on out here. The multiverse is shattering.
Oh, no.
Alright, anyways.
So, with that being said about Deadpool becoming MCU, this next movie, that's bringing in this new X-Men team. Wolverine, now going to be MCU. Part of the whole universe. You've got Spider-Man on the other hand, who he's almost been he's almost getting a chance to start from scratch.
Right.
Now that nobody knows his identity or anything, nobody knows who Peter Parker is anymore. So he has a totally blank slate to work with. Like, they could add in almost anything. And with Infinity War and all that, Endgame coming to a close, it's just giving me the sign that we're going to see the phase of the comics or whatever where Spider-Man steps in with the X-Men.
Yeah.
And he's involved with the X-Men. And with the Wolverine video game coming up right after they just dropped the Spider-Man 2 game, it's giving me the vibe they're trying to hype this direction up a little bit.
Right, like a teamwork between the Wolverine, X-Men, everything.
Right.
And with the Fantastic Four movie that they got scheduled, you think about all the different media of Spider-Man. He's been friends with Johnny Storm. He's been friends with Bobby Iceman. You know, he's been friends with Kitty Pryde and Nova and these different characters. It makes sense that they keep on going with this route of Spider-Man where there is like a team there for him to slide into.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's good that maybe the next movie they focus more on Spider-Man in a smaller story. Yeah. But building up the X-Men, bringing in the Fantastic Four, and eventually having them all come together. It's a vibe, bro. That's like nostalgia coming back to life, man.
What was the movie, The Eternals, with the crazy scene with Galactus?
See, I never see The Eternals.
I never watched it either, but I saw a clip and like there's a fucking scene with Galactus. It looks like he's like stone at the moment. They're talking the X-Men or MCU. You see why I'm saying? Like,
right.
This is probably the direction they're going. I mean,
and you know when you think about the X-Men '97 animated show, they just brought back all those superheroes too.
Yeah.
And the X-Men '97, they brought Spider-Man in, they brought Hulk in, you know. So
that's crazy. Yeah. So
I really do think they're about to get popping big time with it. But that makes me wonder, where's Deadpool going to go in the MCU after this? Is this going to be his last movie?
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe. Fuck, bro.
No one's really brought that up. I don't think anybody would really believe it, but it might be Deadpool's last movie, dude.
You don't think they'd involve him in the X-Men if they did? I mean, it's hard to make Deadpool's character accurate without obviously having the movie rated R and having it be extra vulgar whenever Deadpool's around, you know? So
and the thing is I feel like Ryan Reynolds' integrity to the character. Okay, if Deadpool isn't the main focus of the movie and it's not a very good script, why would he allow Deadpool to be in the movie? Or why would he want to play Deadpool in the movie?
Right.
I see that being a problem, maybe. That they want Deadpool to be more of a side character when Deadpool is carrying a franchise.
Absolutely. He always be pissing off Colossus and shit with how he doesn't really abide by trying to find a way without violently tenderizing everybody.
Brutalizing the ops.
Yeah, exactly. So
ran up to him to Swiss cheese, man.
It could be something like what you were saying, like what's the title of the movie?
Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah. Is it?
That's what it's called.
That's it?
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Fuck.
Why?
I don't. Oh, isn't Venom like the last dance or whatever the fuck? That's the last dance? Okay, I was about to say, if that was Deadpool, that would make sense.
Good grief. That movie looks like a disaster.
We can get into that after this if you want.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. I could see it being the way you were saying with Deadpool has some hung over his head and he has to do some terrible shit, so it's like the X-Men are like, what the fuck? We gotta do something about this guy.
Yeah.
Like maybe this movie Deadpool turns into an enemy of the X-Men or just
that'd be fire.
Like he gets himself into some shit.
Yeah. See, I'd like to see Deadpool be See, that's the thing, like Deadpool's kind of funny, but he's unpredictable, so he can be scary. So they have an opportunity to make him terrifying if they want to, you know?
I want to see it, bro.
Like, you know, like, I don't watch The Boys that much at all, but, you know, when Homelander's on screen, he has the capability to do some wild shit if he wants to. And you just don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they can do that with Deadpool in a more deranged way.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. It's a great reference to what you're trying to say. If anybody watches The Boys.
Oh, I'm sure some people, if they listen about the MCU this deep, they gotta at least know a little bit about Homelander.
Absolutely. 100%. You have to. It's kind of getting a little majorly raunchy. I don't know if you've watched anything.
I'm aware it's fucking absurd.
It's getting
Someday I'll binge it.
Oh my god, it's reaching a
critical level.
Crazy level, yeah, that's about the best way you could put it.
Dude, just really quick, let's roast this Venom Last Dance piece of shit film that's gonna come out.
Dude.
How much false marketing are they gonna put in the trailer this time, do you think?
So, elaborate on that.
Well, you look back at the Morbius trailer, okay? Spider-Man was in the trailer.
Right. Like, they were teasing, like, the Spider-Man spray paint.
I'm pretty sure Oscorp was in the trailer. Like, these things that were connected to Spider-Man directly were in the trailer. And then when the movie comes out, they're nowhere to be seen. Madam Web. It's marketed as this superhero team-up movie, you know what I'm saying? The Spider-Girls. Which would have been dope if that was the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that was literally, I think, less than 3 minutes of screen time. So my question is, how much false advertisement are they going to throw in the trailer? How much false rumors and leaks are there going to be this time for what's probably Tom Hardy's last Venom film?
It really stresses me out the way that they're doing this shit. It's actually kind of infuriating with the way they're building it up with the whole Spider-Man shit just for whatever the fuck it is they're planning with this movie.
All right, y'all. We cut the last 10 minutes or so because we're really just schmelting all over the MCU right now and whatnot. So we're just gonna back off of it. Is there any last thoughts or anything you want to say, Trev?
I just hope that this Disney writing curve that's stuck in the MCU just takes a fucking what would you call it?
Goes on.
I hope it hits a bend back or something. The direction of the writing is progressively with each movie getting Disneyed. I don't know exactly.
Disneyfied?
Yeah, it's getting Disneyfied.
Yeah, they need to cut back on the humor.
And
add some more grittiness.
Yeah.
Give it some grit. Well, y'all, we talked about some training. We talked about some combat sport BMF tournament. We talked about some Marvel MCU shiznit. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to hear us talk about anything specifically or want any specific videos from me, comment down below. Hit like, subscribe. It's your boy Fridayrandommedia, and
Trevor.
We're out, dog. Peace out. Have a great day.